Right, we are back and we are going to be having a little play around with these cages and these small little lights that I've recently got. Now, this one is proving a bit of a problem for me, and I'm hoping if I can't get this right, you're going to be able to help me out with this one, because I think I'm going to need it. Right, so this one has actually been on. It is day 4. And there's still a little bit of power left in there. And that has been on constantly. And this is what they're like when you first turn them on. So you can see there's a massive difference. But the power in these are really good. And you can unclip the back and access. It's not ideal, but you can change the batteries inside these. What I want to do today, again, this is an experiment. I haven't seen it done before. If it has been done, I do apologise. What I want to do is create a paper lantern pendant or earrings, however you want to use these. They come in 3 different sizes. Obviously that is going to be too small. But what we're going to do is dip them in our dipping resin that we've made. And I'm going to make some for those who haven't seen it. And then I'll just top up my pot. Now, an update on the dipping resin experiment. What I have found is the pots that I used, these black pots, are not airtight. So the dipping resin that I've got inside there, it's gone a little bit thick, so it needs diluting down again. So just bear that in mind if you are making it. Those pots that I tried, they're just not good enough. I think they need to be in like a, you know, the paint pot tins that you can pop the metal lid off. I think they need to be in a really airtight sealed pot, but it's still usable. It's just really thick. Anyway, what I want to do is dip these, but still be able to access, to be able to get a light in and out of the cage. And this is going to be the tricky part. I have experimented for a different platform. I've done a really quick video, but it was with a larger light and it distorted the shape of the cage, which is why I got these ones. Now these springs are really, really strong. I tried to bend one out and it slipped off my fingernails, and the pain was unreal. It really did hurt my fingernails. It really hurt. So we need to be careful at the same time. Now looking at the shape, I'm thinking I can partly dip the cage, maybe from here down, because if I dip the whole thing and then I start bending it, it's going to crack the resin. I did think about cutting an access hole at the bottom or cutting an access hole at the back maybe. I don't know. I think we're just going to have to just see what we can come up with. So for the dipping resin itself, I'm just going to pour some of my UV resin into my mixing cup. And the good thing about these springs is they do flatten down inside, so I shouldn't need to fill this up. Sorry, my focus is gone. I shouldn't have to fill this up too much. And again, out comes the rather large clear Elmer's glue. Take off the lid, and you've seen just how little this takes. Just a drop. That is it, just a drop. Pop that into our resin and just thoroughly mix that in. It still amazes me just how quick and how much it affects the resin. It really is incredible. Just thoroughly mix that in. And again, to that I'm adding a tiny bit of white pigment paste. Just a tiny amount to begin with. Less is best, as we all know, as we do want it to cure with the UV light. And we also don't want to see that little light ball rolling around inside the cage. So I'm adding a little bit more. And I think that will do it. If I need to add any more white or glue as we experiment, I will just add it as I go. So the easier way of doing this would of course be to put the ball inside and then do the dip. But I don't like the idea of there being a trapped light inside this that we can't change, we can't turn it off, and it's not good for the environment in the long run, because that then needs to be disposed of when the batteries run out. So I really ideally we want to be able to access that ball. So I'm going to start with the larger one because I think this one has got more flex and it's going to be easier, fingers crossed, I hope, to be able to pop the light in and out. But I am going to leave a gap. So I'm going to pop that. I'm just using some pliers. And again, I'm pushing that spring coil down into the resin, then lifting that out slowly. I think I've gone too far down, but I'm wondering if I can clean some of it up. And we can always double dip. If it's too translucent, we can always go in for the second dip. So let's give that. No, I haven't turned my power on. Quick. Always be prepared. It's starting to drip. Right. What's going on? It always helps to have the wire plugged into the back of the UV light. There we go. I'm just going to keep turning that. There's going to be so much easier ways of doing this, guys. I do know. I'm just doing it this way because I'm like that, you know. I like to be difficult sometimes. So I'm just curing that under my light. I need to elevate that a little bit, I think, as well. Oh, never mind. It's going to cure. Okay, so there it is. I've got some access at the top. I think I need to go in again. You see, there's some dodgy bits, but that would just, I could take that off afterwards. I think I need to double dip. I'm going to dip it again. Right, so there it is after a double dip. Now you can see there is an area there that could potentially crack when we try and get the ball in and out. But I feel a bit more positive this time than the last time because the lights that I used last time were really long. So, and keep hold of the tabs because you just put them in. It would be so much better if they had a little switch in them, to be completely honest with you. But you might find different lights available. So the tricky bit, get off. That's it. Don't lose it though. Remember where it's gone. This is the tricky bit. Because I want to get the ball inside this cage without breaking the resin and without bending the metal. It should. Ah, there we go. That worked first time. And okay, you've got that bit of a gap at the top, but I think we could bend that in a little bit somehow. But we do need to clean off that top bit. But look at that. That is crazy. It's a little, my resin is a little bit sticky. I do need to water cure it, but that is crazy. So any bits that we don't want, we'll just peel away with a little bit of work, but not too much. Maybe these aren't the best tools to use. I'm actually going to keep that tiny bit of resin there because there's a little, let me show you on this one, there's a little bent piece of metal in there and it is actually holding that in place. But it could be filed down a bit. I mean, let's see how easy it is to get the ball out again. That's going to be the one. So I can't remember the exact place that I got the ball in. My resin is sticky inside. I should have water cured it first. Get out. See, this is the problem. And it's a really, really good idea. But it's the access. There we go. We got it out in the end. It's bent the wiring a little bit. Again, I think we need some different ideas on this one. The concept, let me water cure this. It's really annoying me. Yeah, I think the concept is pretty incredible. If we can get it to just be more accessible. I mean, it wasn't that difficult. The main pain was, the main pain was that I didn't water cure my resin. Obviously, we've added glue to it. We've added white pigment paste. It's going to add a little bit of attack to the resin, but this will get rid of that. And there we go, no more sticky resin. That should be much easier for us to work with. So what another idea that you could do with these is, and you could actually submerge the whole cage and then attach them to like string lights. So make sure the bulb's pointing inwards. And you could make your own paper lantern decorations. But I think I'm happy with this as it is for now, until we come up with a better solution, I suppose. But I think that on a pendant would look really, really cool. And you can hear there's no sticky resin inside now. And there it is made up. It's just a shame about that gap at the top, isn't it? If we could just manipulate, we probably could just push that down and push it back in, but the ball is kind of restricting it. Anyway, give the video a thumbs up, drop me a comment if you haven't subbed, hit that button for me. I'm quite happy with that. It's more accessible than my previous prototype anyway, let's put it that way. But it just needs a little bit of work. Hit me up in the comments with some ideas on how you would make this work better. Maybe I will do an update post or video and share my attempts. Right, I will see you for the next one. It was only a quick one. Bye for now. Right, I had another attempt and I think I've cracked it. So what I did is I dipped the same, I went in deeper, so I entered the whole coil into the dipping resin, and then I used a cocktail stick and just cleared away just this one gap here until it broke the resin and just left the metal, and then cured it. And then all I did was a second dip on that part, just down there. And then to strengthen the top, I just used my cocktail stick and just dabbed it into the resin and top coated and strengthened that top section there. So we've still got a gap, but there's less light leakage and it strengthened up that top. Now, I think that is the only way we are going to be able to do this for the effect that I want. But I think we've cracked it. And we can still get that ball in and out through that gap. Absolutely fine. Right, I thought I'd update you before I actually finish the video. See you for the next one. Bye for now.